Hey guys, it's me, Joy, and I'm here to share another one of my Christmas in Appalachian memories. Several people asked me about it, so I said I'd do it, and so here we are. For the folks that don't know, I was born and raised in eastern Kentucky in the Appalachian Mountains, and my daddy had 13 brothers and sisters. My mama and my papa had a house way at the top of a mountain, and that's where I grew up. And how I came to live with my grandparents, some folks know that story, but that's a story for another time, as this is Christmas. Today I want to share a Christmas story from December of 1967. So let's get started. It was a cold, snowy December morning. My sister and I were standing at the bottom of the hill waiting for the school bus. It was a long trip, the nearly 12 miles to school, especially on the switchback roads down the mountain when there was snow. The cold didn't bother me today because it was the last day before Christmas vacation. Yes, in 1967, folks, we still had Christmas vacation and still said Merry Christmas. That's the way it was in the Appalachians. And it still is, actually. We had a Christmas, that day, each of the classrooms would have a Christmas party, and then we had a Christmas play after school. Every year, the principal would read the story from the Bible about the birth of Jesus, while all of us kids ran around dressed as Bible characters, trying to figure out what we were supposed to do on stage. And I was pretty happy most of the time just to sit with the baby sheep. I didn't care if I had any lines. I didn't really want to say anything to anybody anyway. At least not then. One of my favorite things at Christmas time was the Christmas tree. Every year, my papa would take me and my sister out to cut down the tree. When we found just the right one, he would cut it down, load it on his deer sled, and pull it home. Along with Meemaw, some of my many aunts and cousins, we would make all of the ornaments for the tree. In 1967, I painted faces on walnuts and glued little red and green ribbons to hang them on the tree. That was my part. My sister strung popcorn and cranberries for garland. The whole tree was covered with handmade ornaments of love from everyone in our family. And to me, it was the most beautiful tree in the world, bar none. In our house that year, the radio was always playing in the background, WSM from the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville. We had a big old Zenith TV, you know, the kind that came in those big giant wood boxes, all gleaming and nice and everything. We had a big TV. But there was a thing called the Vietnam War. And it seemed like it was on the TV all the time. And Papa said Meemaw couldn't take the worry. I didn't understand that then. But that's a story for another time. Because it's Christmas. My sister and I wrote letters to Santa. And Papa made a special trip to town to take him to the post office. In 1967, I asked Santa if it wasn't too much trouble, I wanted a fishing pole and a case knife, like my papa's. I really wanted a BB gun, but my daddy said I had to be 10. To a child, Christmas Eve seems to be the longest night in history. We squirmed and rolled and talked and laughed all night long. Meemaw had made 23 stockings and stitched each grandchild's name on them. I know it took her all year to do it, and she did it with love. The stockings had the following in them that year: an orange, some butterscotch candies, you know, little hard candies that come with the yellow wrappers. Younger people might not know what they are, but older ones will. Hair ribbons for the girls, and little cars for the boys, and a small box of crayons. What, no coloring book, some of you might ask? Well, Appalachian kids used butcher paper to color on because everyone around us had butcher paper because everyone around us butchered the meat they ate. Very few bought meat from the store. That's just the way it was. So there was always extra butcher paper to color on. So we didn't lack for that, that's for sure. So all the kids sat down on the floor while my papa passed out the presents Santa had brought. I was thinking, Santa must have been pretty tired having to tote all that in the house. I thought, wow, he must be a great guy. And I was pretty sure one of my presents was indeed a fishing pole, considering it was shaped like a fishing pole. But I had asked for 2 presents, and there were 3. Quickly, I ripped them open. Yes, there was the glorious pocket knife, my very own case knife, with a pearl handle. Finally, I had my very own pocket knife. The other present was a blonde Barbie doll. Well, you see, little girls who are constantly feeding, changing, and toting around actual babies, we weren't really impressed with dolls, okay? We had to take care of babies all day. So, anyway, my cousin Ricky got a G.I. Joe, and I asked him if my Barbie could borrow his gun, and he said yes. So there you go. My Barbie had a G.I. Joe gun. Christmas dinner in Appalachia in 1967 was a grand feast. We had 4 wild turkeys roasted, 3 plates of fried squirrel piled high, squirrel gravy, mashed potatoes, cat head biscuits. Now, some of you know I've explained this before, but if you didn't know, a cat head biscuit is a biscuit the size of a cat's head. And they're that big. Delicious. Fluffy. Nothing better. And we had jars of piccalilli, which is pickled corn, green beans, and something else I can't remember, but it comes in a jar. You know, they've jarred it up like you do anything, and it's kind of like sauerkraut. Anyway, there was cast iron skillets of Christmas cornbread, and what they did was they would take little green and red peppers and put it in the cornbread so it had green and red in it. That's why they called it Christmas. It didn't make the taste really any different, but it was good. Green beans always, and devil eggs. That was a thing. And everybody knew. She would count them out, and she knew how many people were there, and everybody got 2. And if you tried to take one more, I'm telling you, she'd tell you about it. Nope, you only get 2. There's only enough for 2. After we ate, all the adults would scatter around the house, while all us kids went out to play in the snow. Yes, sir, my friends. Christmas in Appalachia 1967 was one of the best memories a woman could have. And I'm glad I have that memory. I really, really am. And there's nothing more wonderful than spending Christmas with your family or your friends. And I just want everybody to know that as far as Scott and I are concerned, you're family and friends. Yes, you are. And I just want to say, from me and Scott, we wish you guys the merriest Christmas ever. And we want you to know that we love each and every one of you. Yes, we do. Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Addie even says Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Addie. Bye, guys.